All right, chat. We are going to dive into, we're going to get in the lab. We're getting ready. We are going future NFL future bets hunting. We are about to lock in some 2025 NFL future bets. And a friendly reminder, chat, a friendly reminder that your boy was up 51 and a half units at the end of last NFL season. When the Super Bowl ended, I was up 51 and a half units on the NFL season. You can follow all my bets, whether you want to tail or fade them. The minute I put in a bet, it goes into the Pick'It app. Pick'It is kind of like the social platform for sports bettors. You can see other people's bets. People are kind of like, there's a little feed for like sending messages like Twitter. But essentially the most important part is you can track all your bets, your wins, your losses in one convenient place. And it's the Pick'It app. If you type in !Pick'It, it'll bring you to the link to the app. It's a free way to follow my bets and use code DUBBEARS at sign up, and you will be able to immediately follow me and see all of my bets. You can tell, you can fade me. I'm not saying you need to follow my bets or like follow my exact bets. You can fade them, you can tell them, but they're all going to be in the Pick'It app this year. Type in code DUBBEARS at sign up, and you can follow all my bets for free. 51 and a half units. So if you bet $100 units, you could be up $5,000 after last season. All right. So I want to run through win totals. I want to run through win totals in the NFL. All right, one that I couldn't find, chat. So let's talk about Super Bowl matchup. Let's start with the Super Bowl matchup. This is one that I pre-researched. The other one are going to kind of be a little bit of improv. But, all right, chat. Here's the Super Bowl winner odds, right? This is the Super Bowl winner odds for the 2025 Super Bowl, 2026 Super Bowl. Super Bowl, why the fuck did they, I don't even know what that is, 60? I don't even know how to read that. So for winner, Super Bowl winners, I am loving the odds on the Chiefs right here. Plus 800. They have the fourth best odds to win the Super Bowl. The teams above them, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Eagles. History has shown us that the Chiefs have been going to every Super Bowl pretty much since Patrick Mahomes has been their quarterback. And you know what they did this offseason? I don't have the key additions or losses right in front of me. But you know what they did? They re-solidified the offensive line for Patrick Mahomes. They got that left tackle in the first round who's been reportedly having a great camp. They might even be in the works of maybe trading for Tyreek Hill. If they get Tyreek Hill, these odds are going to be probably plus 700 matching the Ravens. But plus 800 for the Chiefs, the fourth best odds for the Chiefs to be Super Bowl winners. You have to lock that in. I am not going to bet against the Chiefs until I am proven wrong. These odds are amazing. These odds are great. So we're going to lock in our first Super Bowl winner pick as in the Chiefs plus 800. You cannot go wrong with these odds. They've only gotten better this offseason. History has shown us that they've gone to the Super Bowl every year. The two times they lost the Super Bowl is because their offensive line was cheeks against the Bucks and against the Eagles last year. But let's lock it in. Chiefs plus 800 to win the Super Bowl. We're going to sprinkle a half a unit on that. And then I want you guys to put in the comments who you guys have as your Super Bowl winners. So Chiefs plus 800. I love the odds on that. History has shown us that they make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that. Not afraid to do that. I got to do it on my phone because you got to have like a location plug-in on the FanDuel website. So let me find it on here quick. Super Bowl, Chiefs plus 800. We're locking that in. Boom. I love that. I love that pick. We're rolling with it. Just a little sprinkle. We're not going too crazy. I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. We just started our 2025 future bets deep dive in here. We're in the lab. We're brewing some stuff up. I have already researched some bets, but I'm just going to have to kind of go in blind and raw dog the rest of it. if the Chiefs aren't going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl here, chat, I think the Bills would be the second best team that will be going to the Super Bowl if it's not going to be the Chiefs. If it's not going to be the Chiefs, it will be the Bills. And at plus 750, that's not terrible odds. They have the second best odds. Lamar Jackson, we have seen, just chokes in the playoffs. He doesn't perform that well in the playoffs. Josh Allen, on the other hand, has performed well in the playoffs. Has even performed well against the Chiefs. His team just can't close the deal. It's always Patrick Mahomes with a crazy comeback. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Josh Allen has never really played terrible or even bad in the playoffs and against the Chiefs. They've just gotten unlucky. The football gods have just wanted Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl every time. So we're going to sprinkle the Bills. That's going to be our second option for AFC Super Bowl winners. I don't think there's going to be an NFC team that's going to win the Super Bowl. If there is going to be one, it will be the Eagles, and I'll talk about that next. But I believe it's either going to be the Chiefs or the Bills. There might be some crazy dark horse that we're looking at right here, right now, chat. But I just don't see how are the Packers got the 8th best odds to win the Super Bowl? And the Lions are not how do they have the 5th best odds to win the Super Bowl? I don't even know who I would pick in the NFC. So I do think it's going to be an AFC winning Super Bowl again. And I have the Chiefs. I love the odds with the Chiefs. History has shown us the Chiefs. But if it's not going to be the Chiefs, I will sprinkle a little bit on Buffalo. Me being in upstate New York, something to cheer for. But maybe it's finally Josh Allen's time. It's got to be Josh Allen's time. Their team has only gotten really kind of better throughout this offseason as well. They re-signed James Cook. They're always there. They're always right there. So if it's got to possibly be the year. If they're not, we got the Chiefs. So I'm about to lock that in next too. Now, chat, the question is, do I want to sprinkle some on the Eagles? Do I want to sprinkle a little something on the Eagles? I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Do I sprinkle? The thought process here is you got to kind of bet an NFC team, don't you? You kind of got to bet an NFC team. And there's no other NFC team that I see winning. I could say the Bears, right? I could be a meatball and say the Bears, but at plus 3,500 odds, pretty good odds. But could the Eagles repeat? Yeah, Lane Johnson got hurt, right? But they still have the same team, if not better. I know they did some little tiny trades here and there, but those players that they always have these tiny trades for always seem to do something crazy good. The Eagles at plus 750. I think that's still good odds. So essentially I'm betting $30 to win $70. No, you know what? We're going to pass on this. I like my Bills and Chiefs pick. I don't want to get too crazy with Super Bowl winners. However, we're going to go to Super Bowl matchups. There is a Super Bowl matchups, right? And for Super Bowl matchups, I have 2. Bills versus Eagles and Chiefs versus Eagles. I think those are going to be the options. Like I told you, it's either going to be the Chiefs in the Super Bowl or the Bills. There's probably some dark horse representative. Maybe you could even say the Broncos. The Broncos could be a really sneaky good team in the AFC this year. But I want to put a little bit something on. I want to put a little sprinkle on the Bills. So here are my 2 Super Bowl matchup predictions. I like the odds on them. I think they're very realistic. I can't envision anyone in the NFC really right now at this point in time to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl besides the Eagles. The Rams, Matthew Stafford, is his back going to last that long? The Detroit Lions, I just don't think they're that great of a team. And honestly, we're going to see me put a lot of unders in on them. They lost Ben Johnson. They lost Aaron Glenn. They lost key coordinators and offensive linemen that could really affect their season. I just don't see the Green Bay Packers being there. The Washington Commanders, they could be really good, but I'm expecting a little bit more of a downer year for Jaden Daniels. The 49ers, they don't even have wide receivers, always have injuries. I feel no confidence in those teams. But these odds right here, the Broncos winning the Super Bowl, no, representing. So my matchups, it's either the Chiefs or the Bills that are going to represent the AFC. And then I think the Eagles can be the only team at this particular moment heading into week 1 that I could see representing the NFC. They're just so well built. Offensive line, defensive line, wide receivers, running game. Like, it's crazy. So I'm going to put Bills. We got Bills here. We got Bills versus Eagles plus 2,000, which a $5 payout gives us $100. I'm not going too crazy on these. And then I'm going to do Chiefs and Eagles as well. A little rematch. I think those are really good options for the Super Bowl matchups. Put your guys' thoughts in the comments. Who is your Super Bowl matchup, whether just based up kind of thoughts or which odds you like the best? Buffalo Bills versus Eagles. $5. And then we're doing Chiefs versus, might be the cop-out obvious answer, chat, but at this point in time in the season, it's all I can kind of think of. All right, chat. Now let's talk about who we think is going to make the playoffs in 2025, 2026. So here, I have the Bears. I have the Bears to make the playoffs. That's a little bit of a homer pick, but I really like that one. Plus 1. Am I jinxing the Bears if I do this, chat? I thought the odds were a little bit higher. So what happens if I do a unit on it? I don't know, chat. What do we think? What do you think the Bears making the playoffs? One that I do like to make the playoffs, chat. We got to do the Bears. We're gonna do the Bears. We're gonna donate $25 to FanDuel. So, chat, my first team that I'm gonna lay a unit on to make the playoffs is the Chicago Bears. Yes, it's a homer pick, but yes, they have a tough schedule. But with a legit coaching staff, reinvesting in the offensive line, even though we still have a glaring need at left tackle, with improvement in the defensive line, even though we still have a glaring need at the opposite side edge of Montez Sweat. Our offense could look really good this year. Our defense could be really good this year with Dennis Allen in this secondary. We were good last year. Like, we lost probably 5, 6 one-possession games, but if it wasn't for the fucking idiocy of Matt Eberflus and not knowing how to time clock management, the end of game situations, we could have won a few more games. So with Caleb Williams having a second year, Ben Johnson at the helm, I really think we can make the playoffs. Hence why I'm going to put a unit on them to make the playoffs at plus 184. But put your thoughts in the comments, chat. Will the Bears make the playoffs? Are you putting money on it? I would love to hear from you. So, chat, I have another team on my radar to make the playoffs. But I think we're actually going to go with their win totals instead of playoffs. It might be a better... So I have I'm really high in the Carolina Panthers. Yo, what's good, EJ? I appreciate you tuning into the stream, my guy. How we doing? Colin says, give me Bills versus Vikings. Broncos making the divisional. I'm high in the Broncos too this year also. I'm doing good, EJ. I'm doing good. I appreciate you tuning in. We're just doing some NFL future bets, bro, if you want to stick around and hear us chat some ball. So I'm high in the Panthers this year, chat. But plus 260 to make the playoffs. That's essentially saying they need to win the division. Because with the end of stacked NFC North and the NFC West, can the Carolina Panthers make the playoffs as a wild card? I doubt it. But if they're going to win the division, if I'm high in them hitting their over totals and winning the division, essentially they're going to make the playoffs. So we're going to wait on that. Let's scroll and see who else we think we can make the playoffs. We're not just looking at obvious. We're also looking at odds. Like, what are some good odds here, Chad? That's what you kind of want to look out for when you're making these future bets. Like, it's not like, oh my God, it's an obvious. Yeah, the Bills are going to make the playoffs, but it's minus 800, right? So when you're looking at future bets, like, what are the best odds? And I want you guys to put in the comments whether it's a player's season-long stats, whether it's a win totals, whether it's a parlay division winner. I want you guys to put in the comments, what is one future bet that you are in love with, whether it's just the actual outcome that's a lock or you love the odds on it. It's a little bit risky, but it's got really good odds. Put it in the comments. I want to know because I'm going to be making future bets all the way up until that Thursday night football game with the Eagles and the Cowboys. So would love to hear from you guys. There's a lot of future bets. So if you're in the lab constantly, if you've seen the other creator post something, you know, we're all trying to eat out here. I want to hear from you your favorite future bet and something with some good odds. Give me something with some good odds. So let's scroll here to make the playoffs. I had Bears. That was a homer pick. I probably jinxed it. However, we got the Panthers at plus 260 in my notes, but I'm going to hold off on that. There might be like, maybe I have them winning the division is a better option, so we'll see. But these are obvious. I'm not going to bet any of these to make the playoffs because it's kind of obvious. Where you want to get is the plus money, like the Broncos to make the playoffs, so minus 138. I want a little bit better odds on that. I don't think it's a guaranteed, especially in the AFC and in that division, but it could be a possible lock, right? Others making the playoffs. How do the Cardinals have better or high rank to make the playoffs than the Bears? So like the Jaguars at plus 172, that could be a really sneaky one. The Panthers, I like that. I was eyeing the Raiders. I'm not gonna lie, but that division is tough, chat. That division is tough. So to miss the playoffs. Now let's talk about future bets to miss the playoffs. And there's one that I love. There's really one that I really like. It's not being biased. We talked about it a little bit earlier. But the Detroit Lions to miss the playoffs might be one of my top future bets of the 2025 NFL season. Let's talk about this a little bit further. Ben Johnson left. Their offensive play call. The reason why they were so good the last 3 years is because of their offense and Ben Johnson. I just don't think it's going to be the same. It's going to be a learning curve. It's going to take them time to get into rhythm if they even do. Then they lost their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. Even with Aaron Glenn, their defense was cheeks. Now they got a new defensive play caller. So they got two new play callers, offense and defensive side of the ball. They've lost some key pieces on the offensive side of the ball. And then Jared Goff. Let's talk about Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been really good with the elite offensive play callers. Sean McVay, Ben Johnson. But remember, I know it was his rookie year, but when he had Jeff Fisher, no offensive play caller. So I think Jared Goff has a down year, and so do these Detroit Lions. I'm going to be betting them to miss the playoffs, and I'm going to be betting them on their total under of wins. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I know the Lions fans are going to hate this. Put your thoughts in the comments. Yo, Theo, what's good, my guy? How have you been, bro? Texans and Cowboys missing too? Texans and Cowboys? That's not bad. Let's say team. I don't know, dude. The AFC South is so bad, that division. The Texans might make it. The other one I also had on here was the 49ers to miss the playoffs. Yes, I know they have an easy schedule, but we might hold off on submitting that official bet. Let's go to team total wins, chat. I want to talk about the team total wins. I want to see the Cardinals. Team total wins. A lot of people are talking about the Cardinals, but let's talk about Arizona Cardinals. Key additions and losses. So here's a breakdown of every signing. There's just been like they signed Josh Sweat, Zay Jones. So nothing that's really important to us. So we're talking about the Arizona Cardinals. There's something I kind of wanted to bet on them, but I don't know. Where are we at? Their over-under is 8.5. I think that's a little high for them. Like under 8.5 wins is plus 100. Why would they be any better? So we're going to make a note of that. Cardinals under 8.5. It's going to be plus 100. We'll make a note of that. But one I really want to bet, chat. What's the Atlanta Falcons at? Over under is 7.5. I don't know. That might be a risky one. They might hit that over. Chat, if you have a favorite over-under total wins future bet that you want to share, put it in the comments. Maybe there's ones that I'm missing, but I'm kind of going through here right now, what is theirs? Under 11.5. So 11.5 for the Ravens. What is the Ravens' schedule? I feel like 11.5 is they're gonna like. There's tough teams in that division. Sunday they play the Bills. Sunday Night Football, Week 1. Then they got the Browns. Then the Lions. Then the Chiefs. Then the Texans. Then the Rams. Then the Bears. Then the Dolphins. I don't know, Chad. They got a tough schedule. I might have to bet that under on the Ravens. Let's make a note of that. I'm gonna make a note of the Ravens. AFC North. I think is 11.5. It's plus 100. With the Bengals getting somewhat better, the Steelers getting somewhat better. The Browns, I don't think the Browns are going to be that easy of an out with Joe Flacco, but the Buffalo Bills, I'm not really going to touch this. Their over-under is 11.5 also. Chat, the Carolina Panthers team total wins is something that I want to talk about. We haven't done our schedule predictions by division. I know, but Jaguars and Colts going 9-8 will make the playoffs. I don't know if the Colts are going to get 9 wins, Theo. That's ambitious with Daniel Jones. 49ers under 10 wins, Bills over 13. My man, Theo. All right. Bears win 11 to 12 wins. Yeah, we're going to get there, Fish Mystic. I appreciate you tuning in. We just started win totals right now. We're going alphabetical. So I'm going to talk about the Carolina Panthers at the moment. This might be one of my future locks of the season. One of my top future locks of the season. I really love what they've been doing. How Bryce Young looked at the end of last season. They got a good head coach. Like, what is Canales? I think he's a really decent offensive-minded head coach, offensive play caller, someone to develop Bryce Young. Just all the shit with the ownership over the course of the last couple seasons, at the beginning of last season and the season prior to that, just kind of put that whole new program in the wrong direction. But I think everything is heading in the right way now. But I believe their over-under is 6.5. I'm going to bet the over on that and remove all selections. This might be one of my locks, top future locks, if not the lock of the 2025 season. It definitely goes on part of the top locks of my top. Let's start over. The Carolina Panthers over 6.5 wins might be one of my top future bets of the year. I really believe in what they're building over there. Bryce Young looked really good at the end of last season. Easier division. They add some key pieces. I really like what they're doing. Canales, I feel like, is a good coach. All that shit with the ownership at the beginning of last season and the season prior kind of is what screwed up and gave a little bit of a delay into where this team really wanted to be. So I'm going to bet a unit on over 6.5 wins for the Carolina Panthers. If you guys have a favorite win totals bet, whether it's based on odds, put it in the comments. Would really love to know. But let's quickly also look at the Carolina. Yeah, so they invested in the trenches for Bryce Young, invested in the defensive line also. They had a really solid running game with Chuba Hubbard last year. They got a couple wide receivers in the draft. Hunter Renfrow did get cut today, but I love what they're doing. Let's lock it in. Carolina Panthers over 6.5 wins. We're going to lock that one in for sure. Dude, they have a freaking Futures Day promo on FanDuel right now. And I wasn't even opted in. All right. NFL, I need to bet Bryce Young, win totals, Carolina Panthers. We definitely locked that one in. Over 6.5 wins. let's look at some of the other ones. So we got the Chicago Bears, chat. We obviously know that I'm going to bet the Chicago Bears win totals, right? Is that an obvious? Now we got the Chicago Bears over 7.5 total wins for the 2025 season. This is a lock. They won like 5 games last year with Matt Eberflus, a terrible offensive line, 3 different offensive coordinators, losing about 5 one-possession games if it wasn't for freaking Matt Eberflus and his terrible time and clock management. So the Chicago Bears, I know they got a tough schedule, but they reinvested in the offensive line. They reinvested in the defensive line. They had a good draft. Offensive weapons all over the place. Ben Johnson calling the plays. There is no excuses for them not to have over 7.5 wins this season. And I know we always say this every year, Chicago Bears meatball fans, but 7.5 wins is a lock. Probably might be my lock of the season for my future bets. I love this bet. Lock it in. We are putting units on it. Over 7.5 wins at -130. Put your thoughts in the comments, chat. All right, let's continue to scroll. Theo said reasonable, but we are the Bears. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. I bet them to make the playoffs and their team total wins, so I probably jinxed us, but it's all good. Cincinnati Bengals. I'm considering betting the under on the Bengals, chat. What do we have? Let's look at the Bengals win totals here, chat. Oh, 9.5. 9.5, chat. Win. They have an easier schedule. No, I can't. They might hit that over, but I'm not gonna bet every win totals, chat. I can't bet every win total. Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, chat. I wish they did over 725. I didn't get a chance to research all of these, chat. Oh, you know what? Which one I am doing though? What's the Broncos? Win, push, win, loss, win. 9.5 wins, chat. Let's mark that one down. That's the AFC West. I'm not opposed to it, and it's -110. All right, chat. I've been bullish on the Detroit Lions having a down year. Their win total right now is 10.5. Under 10.5 wins is -140. Like I said before, the Detroit Lions lost their offensive coordinator, probably one of the most important pieces of that team and why they had so much success over the last 3 years. They lost their defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. They lost key pieces on the offensive line. I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are going to have this crazy season like they did with Ben Johnson. I don't think Jared Goff is going to be as good without Ben Johnson. I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be as good without Ben Johnson. I don't think this team is going to be good without Ben Johnson. Yeah, they got Dan Campbell at the helm, biting kneecaps and all that stuff. But without Ben Johnson, without some key offensive linemen, their defense was already sus. I mean, Aaron Glenn left, yeah, their defensive coordinator, but they weren't really good with him. And now I don't think they're going to be any better without him. Yeah, they had some injuries, but under 10.5 wins. Yeah, there's some juice. Yeah, it's -140. But I'm gonna lay the money on this. Tough division. The Bears are gonna get better. The Bears could have had a game on them last year. The Vikings got better. Yeah, we got to see what J.J. McCarthy has done. The Packers always played them competitively. Yeah, they were first in the division, so they are going to have a tougher schedule without Ben Johnson, without Aaron Glenn, without an offensive line. So we are going to bet under 10.5 wins for the Detroit Lions, and this might be one of my favorite bets, future bets of the 2025 NFL season. Lock it in. Put your thoughts in the comments. I might need to put more into my FanDuel account. I also do have DraftKings. So we're here. The Packers, I'm not going to touch them. They could be hit or miss. Texans, no. Colts, Chiefs, Raiders. What is the Raiders win? Over 6.5, chat? You're telling me Pete Carroll and company can't win over 6 games? What's their schedule? All right. Possible win. It's a push. Loss. 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 Win. Win. Loss. Win. Loss. Loss. Win. Loss. 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 Win. So one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 games that they could possibly win. If they sneak in one divisional game, 7. Sounded good in my head, but what's the Patriots win total, chat? 8.5. Eagles, Steelers, 49ers. 10.5 wins, chat? Under 4 wins for who, Theo? The Raiders? All right. So team win totals. Ravens under 11.5. Oh, the Pats, Theo? Let's go back to the Ravens. We'll come back to that after. Let's do division winners, chat. And we can do a division winner parlay. See if I can pay you guys out at the beginning of the new year. AFC champs, conferences. Chat, let's look at the conference winners and see what some of our options are. Yeah, these 3 are obvious, right? But there's not enough juice. There's not enough skin in the game for me there. Where it starts to get interesting, chat, are these 3. Is the Bengals, the Broncos, and the Chargers. The Bengals defense is still not that good enough for me to have confidence that they can win the AFC. The Broncos, on the other hand, the Broncos at plus 1,200, chat. One of the best offensive lines in the game. One of the best defensive line and defenses in the game. They improved some of their running back situation. They got Jacob Dobbins. They got that rookie running back from, is it UNC? Sean Payton as the head coach. He's been there. He's done that. Bo Nix looked really good his rookie year. Will he regress or will he continue to progress? I really love this one. Then you got the Los Angeles Chargers at plus 1,200 also. All coming out of the same division. But they just lost their left tackle. Not a big fan of that. But let's just say you want to sprinkle $10 on the Broncos to win the AFC. Plus 1,200, chat. I think we're going to lock that in. This might be our dark horse future bet of the year. Love the odds at plus 1,200. Love what the Broncos got going on in the offensive line and defensive line. Love Sean Payton and Bo Nix. They added Evan Ingram. They got Cortland Sutton. They have some pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Let's lock in the Denver Broncos at plus 1,200 to win the AFC, baby. Lock it in. That might be my dark horse future bet of the year. Let's fucking go. I love that. Anything else? No, the Raiders. And then let's look at the NFC, chat. Let's look at the NFC. Is there anything that makes us warm and fuzzy in here? Yeah, we got the Bears at plus 2,000. Nah, we don't have a left tackle. The Commanders, I don't know. Plus 950 doesn't really do it for me. Like, the Rams could be interesting, chat. Hear me out. Matthew Stafford's back injury aside, they were a couple plays away from beating the Philadelphia Eagles last year in the NFC Championship. They were there. They've been probably the only team in the NFC that could put the Eagles, match them up, like punch for punch, especially in that game. Was it like a fumble or something that really turned the tables for that game? But at plus 1,000, they got Devontae Adams, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Puka. Their defensive line is young and fucking hungry. They got a pretty solid defensive line. I don't know if their corners are still sus. Their secondary still might be sus. But at plus 1,000, I love those odds. For someone that came in second in the NFC last year, went toe-to-toe with the Philadelphia Eagles, I would put them over the Lions. I would put them over the Packers. I would put them over the 49ers. Commanders, I don't know. I think Jaden Daniels has to take a step back. He had such a good rookie year. And I believe in more in Sean McVay than I do whoever the fucking offensive coordinator right now that I can't think of was the head coach of the Cardinals, brain fart, and Dan Quinn. I'm going to do plus 1,000 for the Rams to represent the NFC, to be the NFC Championship winner. I mean, the Bucks, I don't know, Baker, I think they're an underrated team also. The Bears at plus 2,000, honestly, not too bad. Those are some really good odds. But if we are talking underdog, dark horse, just kind of flirting with a few dollar bills, Los Angeles Rams to win the NFC at plus 1,000. Lock it in. I love that bet. Quick transition. If you're just tuning in, we are having our NFL Future Bets live stream. If you missed any of the bets we're placing all season long, you can follow all my bets for free on the Pickett app. Pickett is a really cool platform that tracks all your sports books. You sync all your sports books. You track all your bets. It tells you how much money you lost or won, or if you want to see it in units. You can follow other people. It is free. And if you type an exclamation point Pickett in the chat, I'll do that here in a second. You sign up using code DUBBEARS. You can follow all my bets for free. We got a lot of good future bets going on right now. Your boy was 51.5 units up at the end of last season. After the Super Bowl, I was up 51.5 units. Let's say your units are $100. You could have been up 5 G's if you followed me all season long. You can follow me and tell me. That's up to you. But I always try to be in the green, and it usually works out that way. So if you miss any of the first half of this live stream or miss any of my future bets, follow me on the Pickett app. Sign up using code DUBBEARS. Everything is free. And you can see all my future bets that I just put in there right now, along with all my bets throughout the course of the season. So at 11 a.m. on a Sunday, when I'm doing last minute anytime touchdown parlays, you want to see what I bet? You can see it right there. It syncs immediately. Very cool app, very user-friendly, very sleek and clean. Also, the Pickett app, exclamation point, Pickett in the chat, then use code DUBBEARS at sign up. Let's look at divisions, chat. I want to talk about division winners. I think there's some opportunities for us to kind of do a parlay, which would be really cool. And then look at the odds. I think there could be some really good odds in some of these divisions that we could walk away with. So looking at the AFC East, I'm not going to do a straight out bet on the Bills, but I may put them in a parlay. So let's put them over here. Let's build out an AFC division winners parlay. Then you got the Ravens, you got the Bengals, and you got the Steelers. The obvious one is the Ravens, right? The obvious one is the Ravens. But the Bengals app, no, I don't think their defense is that good enough. But if you got the Steelers at plus 500, chat, at plus 500, maybe Aaron Rodgers is what they needed, like a quarterback that's actually going to be able to throw the ball, put them in situations to win. Let's look at the Steelers' schedule. Right? So they're going to be playing Jets, the Seahawks, the Patriots. That could be 3-0. That could be 2-1. The Vikings, the Browns, the Bengals, the Packers, the Colts, the Chargers. They could win the division. It's possible, but now that I'm looking at that, what is their win total? We just kind of glossed over the Pittsburgh Steelers, didn't we? Over 8.5 wins, chat, at plus 100. 8.5 wins at plus 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7, 8, 9, 10. 8.5 wins for the Steelers. Chat, we gotta lock that. Their win total is 8.5. What did I miss that it's plus money, chat, for the Steelers to have over 8.5 wins? Someone tell me what I'm missing. They got a quarterback. They got Mike Tomlin. They got a little bit of a different running game. They got DK Metcalf. They got Jonnu Smith, didn't they? Like, 8.5 wins. They came in, what, third in their division last year, so a little bit easier schedule. Over 8.5 wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, as much as he fucked up the Jets, if he can only just keep the offense from preventing from turning over the ball with that defense they got, TJ Watt, this is going to be a lock. 8.5 wins has to be a lock for the Pittsburgh Steelers total wins, right, chat? It's got to be a lock. They might even win the division. Let's lock it in. Pittsburgh Steelers over 8.5 wins. We have to lock that in. I just noticed that. Look at their schedule. It's easy. It's easy. They can start off your chat. Win. 4-0, 5-0. Let's say they lost to the Bengals, 5-1. Let's say they lost to the Packers, 5-2, 7-2, 7-3. Let's say they split it with the Bengals, 8-3. Let's see, the Bears gonna win, but possibly a 9th win. They're gonna lose to the Bills. They're gonna lose to the Ravens here. 10. I think they're gonna beat the Lions. 11, 12. Chat. We are betting over Pittsburgh Steelers over 8.5 wins. Let's lock it in right now. Lock it in. That is a lock. That might be my top 5 lock of my future bets for the 2024 season. How did I not recognize that and register that right now? Lock it in, chat. We're laying a unit on it. So we got through win totals. What we were doing next, chat, we were doing division winners. We were looking through division winners, trying to find some good odds, and building our AFC division winner parlay. So we got the Buffalo Bills here. I think that's an obvious. You got to include them in a division winner parlay if we're doing the AFC. Maybe we do a combo AFC, NFC if it's not looking too right with the odds. But we got the Bills. I think the Steelers at plus 500, chat, is some good odds. We just said that they're going to win. We just bet their over total wins, right? Are we double dipping a little too much if we add them as an AFC North winner? Minus 155 is not terrible for the Ravens, but also not that great. But let's put in the Steelers here for now. We're at plus 722. Can you guys see that? I think you guys can see it. Now, let's look at the AFC South. The AFC South has a lot of different options here. You got the Texans and the Jaguars. Is this the year that Trevor Lawrence gets it together with Liam Cohen? Is this the year, chat? Is this the year he gets it together with Liam Cohen? I'm not too sure. At plus 290, I'm not going to do every underdog. Like, the odds are just not really right for them. Let's build out our... You got to go Texans, right? I mean, they don't have a running game. Their running game might be trash. You might be looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars winning that division. This is like the worst division in football. Let's just put... We're having a crazy parlay here. And then I'm going to put... I know we have the Denver Broncos. We're not going to double dip in everything. I don't think the Chargers are there. We're going to put the Chiefs until we're proven wrong. So here's a possible AFC division winner parlay. The Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Jaguars, and the Chiefs, giving us plus 5,400. So if we wanted to bet $10 on that, it's a $540 payout. Let's say we wanted to trade out the Jaguars for the Texans. That brings us to 34-13. With what the Texans got going on right now, I don't know. CJ Stroud or Trevor Lawrence? Is Liam Cohen going to be the answer? They're going to have that first-year head coach kind of boost? This is one we're going to think about. But let's look at the NFC here next. So we're going to erase this. We either had the Jaguars or... I'm kind of loving the odds at that plus 5,400, but we'll replay that here in a second. Let's remove all selections. Now let's look at the NFC. Is there like a guaranteed? I think the Eagles, we got to put the for the North, chat. It's not going to be the Lions. The Lions are not going to win the NFC North. Could it be the Minnesota Vikings? As much as we hate to hit, the biggest question mark there is J.J. McCarthy. Is Matt LaFleur? Is that going to be like? I want to pick the Bears. Don't get me wrong. I want to pick the Bears in here, but kind of biasy aside, being somewhat realistic, it could be the Minnesota Vikings. But is J.J. McCarthy? That's the biggest question mark. Could it be the Packers? Did their defense get really any better? They lost Jair Alexander. I think that's going to be a big weak spot for them throughout the course of the season, especially with this division's wide receivers: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Rome, DJ, Luther. Like, maybe it is the Bears, Chad. Let's go to the NFC South. The Carolina Panthers are plus 410. This is what I'm talking about, Chad. We're going to make this the bet to win the NFC. We talked about the Panthers at plus 260 to make the... I don't think they're making the playoffs if they don't win their division. So what we're going to talk about here, division winners, I'm going to put the Carolina Panthers to win their division at plus 410. We already bet their total wins, right? That was 6.5 or something. They might not make the playoffs and still win that bet for us at over 6.5 wins. But we were already kind of excited to bet plus 260 for them to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs if they don't win their division. So we get better odds at plus 410 if we pick them just to win their division. If they win the division, they make the playoffs. I don't think they make the playoffs if they don't win the division in this NFC. You got the NFC West, the NFC North, and maybe even someone from the NFC East. There's only one team from the NFC South that's going to make the playoffs. So it's smart for us to, hey, we get better odds if we sprinkle some money on them to win the NFC South rather than to bet them to make the playoffs. So we're going to lock this in right now. The Panthers to win the NFC South at plus 410. Let's lock it in. Put your thoughts in the comments. I love the over 6.5 total wins. That we're doubling down a little bit on it at plus 410 division winner. I fucking love that bet, chat. I love it. I love all my fucking bets. And become December, I'm going to hate them all. But right now, I'm fucking loving them. I'm loving them all. Lock it in. Chat. This is why you always shop around. We've been so locked in on FanDuel. This is why you always shop around your bets. We were just going to lock in plus 410 for the Panthers to win the NFC South, which we fucking loved. Chat, we loved it. Always shop around your bets. Always look at the different sports books. Right now, I'm just looking at FanDuel and DraftKings, but you got ESPN bets. You got Fanatics. You got Bet Rivers. But right here, we were just going to lock in and we got all hot and horny for the Panthers at plus 410. We get them at plus 500 on DraftKings. Make sure you always shop around your bets. Anyone that's just locked into one sports book, I'm not going to download another app. I'm too lazy to look at other odds on other sports books. Shopping around sports books is so important, even if it's just a plus 20, a plus 100. That shit adds up, especially with player props when it's a hook of, is he going to get 100.5 receiving yards or 99? Like, that stuff matters. That shit adds up and can be crucial for you winning or losing a bet or for you staying in the green. So we're going to lock in the plus 500 on DraftKings right now. That's better than plus 410. Lesson learned, always shop your books. Always look at every book, download them all. They always got new user promos. There's no excuse not to shop them around. Welcome to my TED Talk. You're welcome. Now let's look at what were we building? We were building our NFC. Let's build our NFC division winner parlay. We had the Eagles here, right? We're undecided on the NFC North. Looking at the NFC South, we already sprinkled the Panthers. I don't know if we want to double down on it in a parlay. Not too sure if that's smart. And if you look at the NFC West, why is the 49ers plus 155? I think you're getting really good odds here with the Los Angeles Rams at plus 210. Was there Matthew Stafford news I didn't hear? No. The 49ers don't have any wide receivers. They always get hurt. I believe all their wide receivers are hurt right now. I know they got the easiest schedule, but I think they're a little overhyped right now. I was even considering betting them to miss the playoffs. So I'm not going to consider them to win the division unless I just kind of want to fade what my instinctual stuff is, which is probably smarter. So if you're looking at the Eagles, the Rams, and if you want to kind of mix it up, let's see what this looks like. The Bills at plus 702. And you got the Steelers. Kind of not bad, chat. That's not a bad division winner. Plus 4609. But we already bet the over on the Steelers win total. I don't want to double dip too much onto it, chat. Let's say this is what, $10? You get $460, right? Liking the Bills there. I think picking the Ravens. You can bet the obvious there. But then you got to start to get some underdogs in here, right, chat? You got to start looking for some underdogs. So we got the Eagles, we got the Rams, we got the Bills, and we got the Ravens. That's no fun. That's only plus 1,300. I'm looking something for a little bit more juice. I'm not going to switch out. What can give us a little bit more of a boost? I don't believe the Bengals. I would rather put the Steelers there. But we already bet their total wins. I don't want to double dip. The AFC South, the Jaguars. You got the Eagles, the Rams, the Bills, and the Jaguars. So what we'll do, I want to build an AFC one, and I want to build an NFC one. All right. Our AFC division winner parlay. We're going to lock it in. We got the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East. I think that's an obvious. I love that. And you're looking at the AFC North. This is enticing. The Steelers at plus 500, but do I believe in Aaron Rodgers that much? I don't think so. We're going to go with the Ravens. We're going to go with the Ravens. At minus 155, it's not the end of the world. They still have a really good team. They got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's foot, though, that's a little sus, actually. I don't know. Maybe we should put the Steelers. Then you got the AFC South. I think betting the Texans is an obvious. I'm going to roll the dice on the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence. You got Brian Thomas Jr. You got Liam Cohen. Maybe they got that new head coach boost. And then you got the West over here. And I'm going to do the Broncos. So here's our AFC division winner parlay. Let's get back into it. AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe would consider the Steelers. Already bet their total team wins. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, a little sleeper pick right there to take home the South. And then the AFC West, instead of going the Chiefs, I got the Denver Broncos. That gets us at plus 29.15. Not exactly where you want to be, but you put $10 on it, you get $291 payout. We're going to roll the punches on that one. I like that pick. Let's lock it in. Put your thoughts in the comments. How do you like this division winner parlay? I might be paying for all your Christmas gifts by the time this season ends. But let's see what the odds would look like, chat, on DraftKings. So we did Buffalo Bills. We did Broncos plus 250. What was Broncos here? And plus 280. I don't think it's going to be. And then we had Bills minus 330. Yeah, it's not going to be the same. How their Panthers bet was wild, chat. No, we're not. It's 260. Yeah, we're betting it on FanDuel. $10 pays us $29.15, chat. Now let's look at our NFC division winner parlay that we gonna lock in for y'all. Philadelphia Eagles and the NFC East. I think that's an obvious lock. I think there's gonna be a small regression from the Commanders. Cowboys, without Micah Parsons and all that drama, I can't guarantee it. The NFC North is going to be the big question mark here, chat. Who are we going to put there? I could obviously put the Bears, right? But we're going to not try to be biased considering we've already bet their team totals and to make the playoffs. So let's look at the NFC South. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at minus 105. We already bet the Panthers individually. The Falcons at plus 230. I'm not too high on the Falcons. Haven't really seen enough from Michael Penix to make me all excited. Todd Bowles, Baker, that defense have always been pretty consistent over the last couple of years. Let's just kind of see what the odds look like with them here first. Then you got the 49ers. And you got the Rams. I don't like the 49ers there. I do like the Rams at plus 210. Or we're only at plus 1032. So the biggest question mark here is the Green Bay Packers defense, in my opinion, especially that secondary, and J.J. McCarthy for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think the Detroit Lions are going to be that good this year. We already kind of doubled down on betting their under total teams and to miss the playoffs. But then you're looking at the Chicago Bears. Betting the Chicago Bears in this parlay could really juice up this parlay. My biggest worries with the Bears is their left tackle and their pass rush. But maybe we get that Ben Johnson first-year head coach boost like we did with Matt Nagy. We won the division. I'm just not too biggest question mark quarterback, biggest question mark defense secondary, biggest question mark replacing their offensive coordinators, biggest question mark, yes, Caleb Williams, but their pass rushing left tackle. Making this plus 5,849 is very enticing. And if you don't do that, then we're looking at like 3607. That's not as fun. And I'm never going to root for the Green Bay Packers. So fuck it. We're gonna put the Chicago Bears, our NFC division winner parlay chat, is locked and is loaded at plus 5,849. $10 bet pays us $580. We got the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the NFC South. We got the NFC West division winner being the LA Rams at plus 220 odds. Had to take that. And the Chicago Bears winning the NFC North, giving us a parlay cash out at plus 58.49. Betting $10 pays us $580. Lock it in. Put your thoughts in the comments. Oh, we get better odds with the DraftKings at plus 60.28 compared to chat. Another example of always shop your books. And I'm only shopping 2 books right now. So we build our division winner parlay in FanDuel plus 58.49. I made the same parlay in DraftKings plus 6,028. You put $10, that's winning $612 compared to winning $585. That's like a $30 difference, chat. Always shop your books. I'm telling you. Don't be a bot. Do your research. Take the extra steps. That's money in your pocket, chat. I'm trying to. You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. You can't make it drink it. When life hands you lemons, I'm trying to help you make lemonade, chat. I'm trying to help you make lemonade. So we did the division winners. Now do we want to do a mixed conference parlay here, chat? Mixed conference parlay. Let's see what it looks like. What are some solid odds? We're going to do the Bills. I think that's an easy one. This AFC North is in question. The AFC South is in question. Let's do the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Rams. All good. All right, chat. We didn't do MVPs yet. We didn't do league leaders yet. We did division winners. We did those. We did the parlays. We're not doing standings. Should we do like a division standings one? That would be crazy. We did the parlays. Let's see if they have that here. Playoffs. We did NFC champs. I'm just kind of going through my list here, chat. Appreciate everyone tuning into the streams today, chat. Yo, Connor, what's good, bro? How we doing, my guy? Eagles what? To win. Oh no, this is we were just kind of seeing what the odds are in that. You want to see what I have for division winners? We didn't do anything for... Yo, Ryan, what's good, bro? I appreciate you tuning in. You ready for the season, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you tuning in to the TikTok. Connor, what do we got here? I'm going to go to... Where do I see? Oh, I have to log in. But you'll see it in a clip what we had for division winners for the NFC... was the Eagles, the Bears, the Buccaneers, and the Rams at plus 6,000 and change. We haven't done any Cowboys bets just yet. We're just about to get started here shortly on player futures. So CeeDee Lamb might be in the mix. Who should I be keeping out for? I wouldn't bet George Pickens. I'm not a big, like, Dak passing yards maybe. We haven't gotten their Super Bowl matchups we did. We're about 2.5 hours into this stream, chat. Super Bowl winners we did. These will all be in the Pickett app, chat. You at work, Connor? What are you doing, bro? To make playoffs, we did... Oh, we didn't do... to miss playoffs, we did the Lions. Total wins. We did Panthers. You on the couch? Okay. Appreciate you tuning in. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that like button. What are we gonna do now, chat? Individual player futures, I think, is what we're gonna do. We did divisions. We did conference. Season leaders. All right, this is what I also wanted to touch on. I haven't been able to research any of these. Most regular season passing yards, chat. Most regular season passing yards. So let's look at 2024 NFL regular season passing leaders. It had to be Joe Burrow. Is that the... Here we go, chat. Wow. How is Patrick Mahomes even second on this list? What was Dak at? Dak got hurt, right, Connor? Dak got hurt? I don't think Jared Goff is going to be up there. I think it could definitely be Joe Burrow. Why would it be any indication that it would be Patrick Mahomes? CJ Stroud could be up there, chat. They're not going to have a run game. Their running game is cooked. No Joe Mixon. Who got hurt? What did I say who got hurt? For the Texans? Joe Mixon, bro. They got no running game. Where was Stroud here? He was 3,000. Damn, I don't think he can catch up 1,200 yards. I don't think he can catch up 1,200 yards. There's no shot. Joe Burrow might be the easy. Maybe we do a parlay, chat. I could just put like $25 on that. What does that pay out? A whole unit? I mean, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, that hand, you never know. Patrick Mahomes, like, why would it be Patrick Mahomes? They don't got no crazy receivers. Jared Goff, no. Brock Purdy, pass. Not with that Kyle Shanahan offense. Josh Allen. No, they run the ball too much. Caleb. So Joe Burrow, if we do a little parlay, maybe we can parlay it up. But let's continue to look at... And then who was touchdowns? 43. Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield. Baker... I don't think Joe Burrow's got to be the obvious pick here. Not that we're going to bet everything here, chat, but show less. Most regular season passing touchdowns. Again, Lamar. Oh, wow. 41. I kind of like those odds, though, chat. Like, Lamar did have Derrick Henry last year, and he was only 2 touchdowns shy. He was only 2 touchdowns shy of tying Joe Burrow. Like, they're not going to get the passing yards, but the passing touchdowns, I like that, chat. I like that. Jared Goff is not going to get up there without Ben Johnson. I'm going to tell you that right now. Sam Darnold is not going to get up there. Bo Nix at 20. Baker Mayfield, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. But what I do like is this. Now let's look at DraftKings. Always shop your books, chat. I've been trying to tell you guys that. Team special, exact, game champion specials. Stat leaders, passing yards. Joe Burrow plus 450. I like this, chat. I like this odds plus 1,000. So you're saying I get probably double the odds for someone that was only 2 touchdowns shy from Joe Burrow? I'm liking that. That might play, chat. That might play. We're gonna add it to our tab here, but I'm gonna add that here. I might just lay a unit on that. That seems like it's too easy unless he gets hurt. Knock on wood. But let's see what the other most interceptions thrown. Can you parlay that? Can you parlay Cam Ward? No, you can't. Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold with the Seahawks. He might get benched. Who's their backup? Oh, Milrose, right? Dak. Well, Dak got hurt. Dak got hurt last season. That's what I was talking about, Connor. Dak got hurt last season, right? So he could be in contention for this. Those odds with Dak might be good. George Pickens, you guys don't have a running game. Let's look at 2023. That's when Joe Burrow was hurt. So Dak, when healthy, did 45-16. Joe Burrow, when healthy, now we're really cooking in the lab right now. At 49-18. He's injury prone these days. Now I think Burrow's the obvious answer there. The Cowboys are gonna have a pretty stingy defense with Eberflus. I'll tell you that. Eberflus is a solid defensive coordinator. I hate to admit it, but so we're not gonna do interceptions. That's kind of lame, but there's some cool stats in here that you could do. Okay, so we're gonna. I do like that Lamar most passing touchdowns. I like that. What is their Ravens schedule? Well, didn't they have an easy schedule last year? That could be a solid bet if he stays healthy. For passing yards, Connor? For passing yards? So Ravens are playing tough defense against the Bills. Could be a shootout, though. Browns, another tough defense. Lions. I mean, Lamar's also hurt, right? What is Lamar's injury? All right. I'm not going to overthink it. I like that. We're going to put that in a tab. And also, I really like the Lamar at plus 1,000. I really like that one, chat. The fact that it's only a 2 touchdown difference and you're getting pretty much double the odds, that's how you got to kind of think about this shit, chat. I'm trying to lead you to water. Can only lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink it. At plus 1,000, that's huge. Plus 1,300. What was Josh Allen's last year? Passing touchdowns. No, he does too many running touchdowns, doesn't he? Yeah. He won the MVP with that? That's crazy. All right. Let's look at receiving yards, chat. Most receiving yards. Jamar and Justin. Justin Jefferson, I don't think is going to be up there with a rookie quarterback. Well, Brian Thomas Jr. had the third most. Drake London had a solid year too. Didn't even think about that. Jamar Chase is probably the obvious. Can you pair these guys together? I wonder if that's possible. At plus 600. Nico Collins, chat. Was Nico hurt? Nico was hurt last year, wasn't he? Where's Nico on here? Like, the Texans don't have a running game, chat. They're not going to be able to run the ball this year. Jamar at plus 600. I'm not mad about that. Can you pair these guys together? No, you can't. I like Jamar there. I like Joe Burrow there. I don't really like CD. Can CD get that, Connor? I don't know if CD could get. I mean, where was he at last year? I know he had a freaking carousel of quarterbacks last year, but it's right here. Oh, that's a big, even with Dak, 600. And you got George Pickens, who's probably going to take some. Nah. This is like the most obvious one. Jamar and Joe Burrow. That's got to be the most obvious one. Most receiving touchdowns. Mike Evans. It's 17. Scary Terry had 13? Am I looking at the right season? What did I miss last year, chat? Nico's solid for yards. He got hurt late, but I think was front runner until then. Yeah, I mean, these are season leaders. I haven't gone to individual 17. Most receiving touchdowns. So you're essentially getting the same odds. I don't think CD might be a play. He does get touchdown targets, right? In the red zone. He does get red zone at plus 1,900. That would be wild. Where's he at here? Damn, he's all the way at the bottom, bro. Last year only 6. Jamar, Terry. Yeah, I don't think there's any. Like, these are the plays, chat. And I'm going to put Lamar back at most passing touchdowns. I like those odds. Like, essentially, but if I'm betting Chase for most regular receiving touchdowns, I'm essentially betting against this Lamar in a way, if that makes sense. Let's look at the rushing. I want to get into here, chat, still the individual player futures. I have some in mind that I think are locks. But I'm also just looking at like odds. Like, I love the plus 1,000. Like, if you get where I'm kind of thinking thought process, like Lamar was only 2 touchdowns shy of matching Burrow last year on this. And Burrow does have a chance of getting hurt with that hand. I mean, not that I'm wishing for or anything, but I mean, Lamar actually has a chance of getting hurt too. But regardless, you get pretty much 2x value for someone that was only 2 touchdowns behind. That's just kind of a difference of like 1 or 2 big games. You know what I mean? I'm going to check, not for leading receiver. These are leading receiver, bro. You think Ladd for leading receiver? Maybe receptions. We're talking receiving yards here, right? 1149. Trying to get richer. Bro, that's a 600-yard difference. That would be crazy. For what odds you get Ladd at? Plus 3,000. He doesn't catch too many deep balls for that. Let's look at the rushing now, chat. Let's look at the rushing, and then we will sprinkle something on one of these. I'll probably do a few bucks on each one. Probably have like almost 500 bucks on future bets already, chat. Most regular season rushing yards. Oh, this has got to be easy money, right? Easy money, chat. It's got to be Saquon. The Saquon repeat back to back to back. All right, let's look at touchdowns. Let's look at the touchdowns first. Derrick Henry, James Cook. Oh, yeah, because Jalen Hurts stole all of his. So Derrick Henry, the tush push is not banned yet, so at plus 500. And you have Jalen Hurts at plus 800. Even if you only put 10 bucks, that's 50 bucks. James Cook is in Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think with that new offense that they're going to have, I don't think. Plus 2,200. You're telling me the guy that was tied for first in rushing touchdowns, you're telling me that he's plus, and I know Josh Allen, whatever Josh Allen, yeah, I know Josh Allen is right here, right? 12. So even if if Josh Allen didn't take 2 of this guy's touchdowns, he's the leader. And you can get him at plus 2,200. Come on, chat. You got to sprinkle something on that. Maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong. I could be a bot and just completely botching this thought process. But Derrick Henry, yeah, that's the obvious. But Lamar could also be taken away from him. It's only plus 500. Jalen and Saquon, not even going to get in that mess. Not even going to get in that mess because you got Josh Jacobs with 50. This is another good value. These might be the 2 ones to put value on is Josh Jacobs at plus 1,700 and James Cook at plus 2,200. Just putting $5 on this, and I know this adds up. You keep adding $5, but something's got to fucking hit, right? You put $5 on each of that. For people that came in essentially second place, tied for first and second, and you're getting that amount of odds. Like Kyron Williams, is he going to last? I don't even know. Bijan Robinson at 14. I think that you're just paying. You're paying for a name at this point for that. It's not a terrible. I don't think Gibbs in that offense can be the same. This I'm not even messing with. Derrick Henry could be an obvious, right? But I know I'm liking these plus 1,700 and plus 2,200. Josh Allen's not going to lead the league in rushing touchdowns. Now, all right, now let's go to rushing yards. Where were we looking at rushing yards? We started with the touchdowns first. Rushing yards, 2,005. So there's a big gap that was here. So essentially, we're looking at Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Could Saquon Barkley go back to back? Isn't it like a thing that usually they don't go back to back? Derrick Henry is getting old, chat. He's getting old. Bijan, could it be one of those years? Maybe they run the ball more with Bijan because it's Michael Penix and not Kirk Cousins back there. But a 500-yard, 400 to 500-yard difference, that's a lot, chat. For the same offense? And who do the Eagles have? The Eagles picked up A.J. Dillon, didn't they? Like, I don't think they're going to give everything to... I don't think they're going to give everything to Saquon, even though Saquon is on my fantasy team for our Bear Down and Beyond Fantasy Football Invitational. But this might be the play. I don't see like any other sleepers like Bucky Irvin. Like, nah. Not for like rushing yards, leading This might be a Derrick Henry play here. And I'm not going to bet all of these, but I'm going to narrow some of this down here. So, chat, let's look at this. Here. Receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. All right, chat, let's get ready to clip the explanation on this one. Plus 3,000. You get plus 3,000 on DraftKings with the James Cook one. I mean, chat, that's a huge difference. We're definitely going to put that on DraftKings. All right. What are we talking about? We're going to go with Lamar Jackson regular season passing touchdowns first here. We're going to erase all of these for the sake of the clip. For the sake of the clip. And it's still the same here. But we are going to do it on DraftKings because all my funds are in there right now. All right, chat. We're looking at season leader future bets, and we're looking at most regular season passing touchdowns. You got the obvious, you got the Joe Burrow, you got the Baker Mayfield, and you got the Jared Goff. And you got Lamar Jackson sitting here at plus 1,000. So, you know, I did a little bit of research. You go to 2024 passing stats, then you filter by passing touchdowns. You filter by passing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson tied for second, too shy from Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had 43. Lamar Jackson had 41. You go here, Lamar Jackson, you're going to essentially double the odds for the passing touchdowns for someone that came in second in leading the league in passing touchdowns. This is great value here. Nothing has changed with their offense. I believe they even drafted a couple wide receivers, picked up some more weapons for Lamar Jackson. And nothing has really changed for Joe Burrow also. So the fact that we get Lamar Jackson at plus 1,000, we got to lock this in. We're going to sprinkle a few bucks. That is great value, an example of great value. And let's lock it in. Lamar Jackson, regular season passing touchdowns at plus 1,000. Yes, you have the risk of Derrick Henry and running the ball in at the goal line or in short yardage situations in the red zone. But at plus 1,000 for someone that was 2 touchdowns shy of tying Joe Burrow, you get double the value. That's got to be good sports betting shopping. Call that boy math. Call that degenerate math. Call that 1-800-GAMBLER math. I don't care, but that makes a lot of sense to me, and let's lock it in. Let's lock it in, chat. Cool. We got that locked in. Now, what else did we like, chat? Did we want to really do... I think Joe Burrow is the obvious here. Let's see what it is over here. Passing yards, 450. Most regular season passing yards. Like, it wasn't even close. I didn't even think it was remotely close in terms of yardage. Jared Goff, I don't think that is going to be close. It's more or less if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. Their defense is trash, so they're always going to be throwing the ball, whether they are playing from behind or not. And putting 10 bucks on here. All right, chat. Now we are looking at our regular season passing yards leader. If you look at the list right here, you got Joe Burrow, you got Patrick Mahomes with the second best odds, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy. Jared Goff, I don't think it's going to be the same offense like it was with Ben Johnson. Dak Prescott could be a little bit of a sleeper if he stays healthy. Patrick Mahomes, I don't even know why he's second best odds. But the obvious one is Joe Burrow. You're only getting plus 490 odds. However, if you're looking at the leaderboard here from last year, you got him sitting at almost 5,000 yards. The second best was Jared Goff, who was about 300 yards short. And in my opinion, is not going to be close to there again just because it's not Ben Johnson's offense. And you got Baker Mayfield 400 yards away. I think the smartest bet right here is 49.18. So you're getting plus 490. Joe Burrow being our NFL regular season passing yards leader. Nothing else really makes sense to me. Maybe a CJ Stroud. If you're looking stuff with better odds, like Josh Allen, they run the ball nice with him now. CJ Stroud could be an option at plus 1,500 considering the run game is going to be cheeks without any Joe Mixon. But I'm really liking the Joe Burrow here. If he stays healthy, this has got to be a lock. Their defense is trash. They're going to be playing from behind a lot. They don't have the best running game. Chase Brown is nice, but more of a receiving running back. So even if they do have the lead, they're going to be passing. They got Joe Burrow. They got T. Higgins. They got Jamar Chase. Sounds like a fireworks of an offense to me. Lock it in. Joe Burrow plus 490, leading the regular season in passing yards. We might deposit more into our FanDuel chat. All right, we did that one. I like that bet. I'm not like forcing bets on here, but I do like that one. We were at receivers chat. We were at receivers, and then we got to actually do the actual individuals, because after that, what's on my agenda here, chat? What's on my agenda? After that, we did team total wins. We're doing league leaders now. Like, do they have coach of the year and that kind of stuff on FanDuel? I might have to look that up on it. Yeah, and then we have the individual player futures next, and then we're gonna call it a stream. But let's look at some of these season leaders. I did like some of these. The passing touchdowns we did with Lamar already. Now let's look at the receivings. Chat, did we really want to dabble in anything in the receiving? Jamar Chase could be the obvious, right? Jamar Chase could be the obvious. Justin Jefferson, I don't think is going to have that high. Like, it's got to be Chase and Burrow. Barring, I'm probably jinxing it now, me putting in these bets. Like, I don't want them to get hurt. And I'm not saying they're going to get hurt, but just my luck, when I bet on something, it usually doesn't go too well. We got Jamar Chase. Malik Neighbors. Why would it be Malik Neighbors? What? Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson. What would make us think it's Neighbors? He had 500 yards less. I guess he went through some shit show with the veto towards the end of that season, but I don't know. I know some people are high on Neighbors for fantasy purposes. Nico Collins could be an underrated one. Nico, he did get hurt last year, so I guess that didn't help, right? Nico got hurt a little bit. Puka, CD, yeah. What was the touchdowns? I forgot what we had in our cart. Scary Terry. We're probably better off just betting his receiving touchdowns. Jamar Chase, receiving yards at plus 600. Like, he's going to lead either one of these, in my opinion. I think he's, and then plus 650. So we got receiving yards, 600, receiving touchdown, 600. Do we want to dabble into that? I already got Joe Burrow. I already have Joe Burrow passing. I don't want to get too invested too much into the Bengals. But the rushing ones, what did we like for rushing, chat? Oh, what we liked was the rushing touchdowns, didn't we? That's what I liked. Yeah, baby, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dirty to me. Let's go. Give me that rushing touchdown stats. Rushing yards. What was this? We had Tyson Bagent. That's crazy. This could be a coin flip. Bijan, what's Bijan's odds? Plus 800. I don't think Jonathan Taylor. None of these get me excited, but this gets me excited, chat. This season rushing touchdowns gets me excited. You know why? Because we have great odds on this one, chat. We got great freaking odds. So you got the obvious here at the top, right? You got Derrick Henry, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. I'm staying away from this duo. You never know. It's a coin flip. Derrick Henry at plus 500. He had the same amount of rushing touchdowns as James Cook. And we all know James Cook got robbed of about probably a minimum 5 rushing touchdowns last year because of Josh Allen. So if you look at James Cook, they got the contract extension. They're paying this running back, what, 12, 13, 14, $15 million a year? They want to get their money's worth and protect their future MVP. Not the future MVP. They want to protect their MVP. Future is the franchise Josh Allen. So maybe they're not going to run as many RPOs with Josh Allen, but you get James Cook at the bottom of this list at plus 2,200, chat. He could have been leading the league in rushing touchdowns last year if it wasn't for Josh Allen robbing him of at minimum 5 touchdowns, if you ever watched the Bills. He tied with the league leader Nothing is going to change about their offense. He got paid. They want to get their money's worth. They're going to run him to the ground. Plus 2,200 odds for someone that was tied for first in rushing touchdowns last year is wild to me, chat. Is wild. And that might be one of our top dark horse bets, future bets of the NFL season. I fucking love this bet. I'm going to lock it in. Even if you bet $10, chat. You bet $10. It's pretty much having my $220. Lock it in. You got to tell me that this is smart boy math, sports better math, degenerate math, 1-800-GAMBLER math. It makes all the sense in the world. Look at everyone above him. Look at everyone above him. Derrick Henry, Jalen, Bijan. Like, David Montgomery's not going to be. It's not going to be Christian McCaffrey. They just got Brian Robinson. Might even take goal line touches from him. Jonathan Taylor, I'll pass. Anthony Richards might even come in for a couple games and take some of those away from him. Kyron Williams, word on the street, he might get replaced by Blake Corum. I don't know. Might not last too long. Might not get as many touches as we saw last year. But look at this. Another prime example, chat, of shopping your sports book. This is the third time I'm going to clip this part of the sports betting. Shop your sports book. I got all hot and horny about James Cook at plus 2,200. You go to DraftKings, plus 3,000, chat. So instead of me winning, if I want to put $310, instead of me winning $220 if this bet cashes, I can win $310. Shop your sports books. And I'm only shopping 2 right now because I'm only logged into 2 on my computer. You got Rivers, you got Fanatic, you got ESPN bets. Shop your sports book, plus 3,000. This might be my favorite bet of my future bets that I got going on here today. Let's lock it in. Let's lock that one in right now. Let's lock it in. Lock it in. Ooh, let's lock it in. Lock it in. All right, chat. The other one that we were eyeing for leading the league in rushing touchdowns is Josh Jacobs at plus 1,600. I believe that we get better odds at DraftKings right here at plus 1,700. So if we look at this leaderboard from last year, Josh Jacobs was tied for second, ranked 4th, but he had the second most in terms of people that didn't get 16, right? That offense is not going to change. Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, their wide receivers, yeah, they drafted Matthew Goldman. It's not going to get any different. Tucker Kraft, yeah, but they've been running the ball. They run the ball heavy. It's a Matt LaFleur offense, and I love this bet, and I love the odds. Plus 1,700 to get the 4th best person who came in 2nd, 4th, whatever you want to rank it, last year in rushing touchdowns. I love that at plus 1,700. So I got 2 horses in the race with really great odds to lead the league in rushing touchdowns, all who came in top 3, top 4 last year. Let's lock this one in. We got 2 horses in the rushing touchdowns, league-leading rushing touchdowns race. I fucking love it, baby. I love it. Lock it in. Lock it in. This is what I fucking love. If you guys have missed part of this Future Bets live stream, if you missed part of the Future Bets live stream, chat, you can go and follow all my bets all season long. You can follow all my bets in real time. If I make a last-minute bet while I'm dropping the kids off at the pool at 12:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time before the 1 p.m. games kick off. If I'm doing my Thursday night football sweat the bet series and I'm locking in bets. If you miss any of the future bets from today, follow my bets all for free on the Pickit app. Type an exclamation point Pickit in the chat. Use code DubBears at sign up, completely free. It's a really cool platform. You can follow other sports bettors. You can track all of your bets. It's the best feature, tracking all your bets, seeing if you're in the green, the red, your win percentage, your money percentage, your unit percentage, however you like to visually see your bets, and then you can follow me. You can tailor fade me. Not saying I got all the locks for you. Just saying I was up 51.5 units at the end of last season. Just saying you could have been up $5,000 if your units are $100 if you followed me all season long. Not saying you have to tail me. Just saying I was up 51.5 units. But if you missed any of these bets today, Pickit app. It's in the App Store. If you're watching in the red, purple, or green app, type in exclamation point Pickit. When you sign up, make sure you use code DubBears at sign up. Your boy gets a little commission, a little kickback. You know how it goes. Would appreciate the love and support, but most importantly, you can follow all my bets. If you miss anything from today, we're about to get into individual player future bets, and then we're going to call it a day here shortly. But we got a few that I've been eyeing, a few that we need to just kind of run through and look at per player, per team. We probably got another 30, 45 minutes, I would say, going through these future bets. It's been a lot of fun. I've been wanting to do this stream. We're going to do it every upcoming NFL season. Just checking stream content off the to-do list. But yeah, let's lock it in. Yards. No, I didn't have anything for receiving. It was Jamar Chase, right? I bet the Joe Burrow. I guess I could have just done Chase receiving yards. And that probably would have been smarter, chat. But I just bet Chase receiving yards at plus 650 instead of Burrow at plus 4 or something. Because essentially, if he's going to win that, it means Jamar Chase had a big year also. You know what I'm trying to say? I wonder if I can cash that out. Let me see, chat. It might even put me at a disadvantage. Let me see. I did that on DraftKings, right? No, I did it on FanDuel, I guess, right? My bets. They won't even let you cash out, brother. All right. Oh, good. I'm not too crazy about these future receiving. Passing props. All right. Passing yards for each individual player, chat. What are we thinking here? Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to mess with. Baker Mayfield, that's a lot. Brock Purdy, Bryce Young, I don't want to mess with. Caleb Williams, chat. Caleb freaking Williams. 36-25. 36-25. What did he have last year? How many passing yards did he have last year? 35-41. So you're telling me, chat, with 3 different offensive coordinators, a trash offensive line, shitty coaching regime, not as many weapons, this man threw for 3,500 yards. And I can get him going into a season with more weapons, a second-year Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland, a revamped offensive line, Ben Johnson calling his plays. You're telling me I can get him just for 100 more passing yards? This has got to be highway robbery. This has to be highway robbery. We're going to lock this in at 36-25, and I'm not going to think twice about it. We might have to lay a few units on it. Minus 114 odds. I get Caleb Williams for just 100 more passing yards than he threw than last year with Ben Johnson, new offensive line, Colston Loveland, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Zacchaeus, who's been blowing up in the preseason, Ben Johnson calling the plays. You're telling me this is not going to be a lock? This is the lock, and I love this bet, and we're going to lay that right now. Might even have to lay a couple units on it. Let's see, 36-25. Let's see what it is on DraftKings. Boom, 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 boom. Season high totals? What does that mean? That's kind of weird. Orange specials, player specials. You know which one's annoying? I ain't gonna lie, chat. I mean, they won't hate it if they... Oh, they're sack leaders, chat? Chat. Oh, receptions? Who are we talking about receptions? CD? Who is it with receptions that we were talking about? Nico? Oh, Lad. Let's look at that. It's Brock Bowers. It's Jamar Chase in every category, chat. It's not even fair. But if you're going to pick one for Jamar Chase, I would pick receptions because it's plus 700 odds. If he's going to lead the league in receiving yards, chances are he's going to lead the league in receptions. He's still up 12. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not going to be up there again. Trey McBride is not going to be up there. CD might get up there. Connor, what do you think about CD receptions? What do you think about CD receptions? And he's second best. So that might be it. He has Dak back. Justin Jefferson, I don't think so. Sacks. Chat. Why wouldn't we bet Trey Hendrickson at plus 1,100? Hasn't he been leading the league in 2 years in a row in sacks? You don't think he can do it for the 3rd year in a row? Aiden Hutchinson at plus 500. What? Was he that good? Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons. We're not going to get too cute with the sacks, but what's Triple Crown? What's a Triple Crown winner? Oh, that's what you should just bet. That's touch. Is that receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns? Is that the Triple Crown? All right, chat. Same thought process here. Same thought process here. Caleb Williams over 22 and a half passing touchdowns. Is at minus 136. You're telling me he had 20 passing touchdowns last season. 3 offensive coordinators. Shitty offensive line. Shitty coaching regime. Less weapons. And this year, his prop is only 2 touchdowns more with Ben Johnson calling the play. With a better offensive line. More weapons. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, DJ Moore, second-year Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, Zacchaeus. You're telling me he can't get 3 more passing touchdowns, chat? This is a lock. 22 and a half passing touchdowns for Caleb Williams is a lock. We are doubling down on Caleb Williams this year. We just bet his passing yards total for this season. Now we're going to bet his passing touchdowns for this season. 22 and a half. Last year he had 20. He had 20 last year with shitty offensive play calling. Now you get Ben Johnson at the helm. Lock it in, chat. Lock it in. This is a lock. You want to invest smartly? Investing in Caleb Williams over 22 and a half passing yards is smart. Lock it in. This might be one of my favorite future bets that we have all season. Is that a slept on bet, chat? Is that a slept on bet? Did we just find gold? Did we just find gold? We might have just found gold, chat. Bo Nix over 24 and a half passing yards. Second year quarterback. Second year with Sean Payton. Last year, he had 29, chat. He had 29 last year. Yeah, maybe they got a couple better running backs for some goal, red zone, short yardage, red zone situation. But they still got Courtland Sutton. They got Evan Ingram. This might be Bo Nix. Bo Nix, this might be it. We might have to lock in Bo Nix over 24 and a half passing yards. Yes, might he have a little decline in the sophomore? Yeah, but he's got Sean Payton. Yeah, but they're going to be competing in this conference, in this division. He had 29 last year. Regular season passing touchdowns. You're telling me he can't get 25 this year? Is it going to be that much of a dip on Bo Nix? It's either that or Bryce Young over 18 and a half. And I have more confidence in Bo Nix than I do Bryce Young. This might be my favorite bet, future bet that we got going on right now, chat. Might be my favorite future bet. We're locking that in. I don't even care. We're locking it. We are locking that one in, chat, on DraftKings. All right, chat. All right, chat. Cool. I don't think there's any other ones that we're eyeing right now. The Bryce Young's interesting. Aaron Jones. Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty to get over 1,075 rushing yards. Can he average, 17 games in a season, chat? Or 17 games in a season, right? So you do 1,075 divided by 17. You're telling me he can't get 63? He can't get 63 yards per game in a Pete Carroll-led team? He's got to get... Bucky Irving got 1,100 last year, chat. That was a rookie running back. Who else was a rookie running back last year? Tyrone Tracy got 839. Splitting carries. Ashton Genty over 1,075 rushing yards, chat. 1,075 rushing yards, chat. Ashton Genty. Like Josh Jacobs, 1,050? Am I just a bot, chat? Am I betting everything I'm seeing? I should probably say discipline. Like Josh Jacobs had 1,300 yards. What is Packers depth chart? Am I too high on Josh Jacobs? Did they draft someone I don't know? 1,050. On DraftKings, it's 1050. This is why you shop your sportsbooks, chat, for the 50th time today. I got excited about Ashton Genty at 1075 rushing yards. You go over to DraftKings, 1050, chat. 1050. So 1050 divided by 17, that's 61 yards per game rushing. You're telling me Ashton Genty can't get 62 yards rushing per game on average with a Pete Carroll-led team. A run-heavy Pete Carroll-led team with the Las Vegas Raiders. This has got to be a lock. This is free money, chat. Who else is in that backfield that is going to take yards away from the first-round running back? A first-round running pick picked in the top 5, top 6, top 7 in the draft. They're going to get their mileage out of this kid. And they're going to run it with Pete Carroll. Remember the last time Pete Carroll had Marshawn Lynch beast mode? Ashton Genty is going to be Pete Carroll's Marshawn Lynch. 1050 and a half for the season, averaging 62 yards per game. That is a lot. That is a lot. That might be my favorite future bet that we've gotten so far today. I'm going to lock it in right now. Lock it in, clip it, ship it. You're welcome. I'm handing you guys free money like I'm Robin Hood over here. I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm your boy, Bear Down and Beyond, and I'm giving you all free money like I'm Mr. Beast, okay? Your boy Samuel on Bear Down and Beyond is giving you free money. Free money. This might be the lock. This might be the lock, chat. And I'm not being a homer. DeAndre Swift's rushing prop right now is 800 and a half. 800 and a half, chat. Last year, DeAndre Swift had 959. Do you realize there's no competition for DeAndre Swift in that backfield right now? Roschon Johnson gets a concussion every other 3 weeks. The rookie from Rutgers might be his only competition later on in the season. But I can't imagine they're not going to feed DeAndre Swift throughout the course of the season in a Ben Johnson offense. Yes, Ben Johnson has a 2 running back kind of offense if he's going to mimic the same thing he did in Detroit. But they both did well. And DeAndre Swift is RB1. He had 959 rushing yards last year in an offense that was a complete mess. In an offense run by Ben Johnson, over 800 and a half rushing yards, he can't hit that. Why is it 150 yards less than it was last year? Are they trying to trick me? They are trying to trick me, chat. There is no shot that he doesn't cash this in. Like, what does Vegas know that I don't know? What I do know is that DeAndre Swift is RB1. What I do know at the moment, there's not a lot of competition for DeAndre Swift at the running back position. What I do know is they had 950 yards last year in an offense that was a complete shit show. What I do know, he's in a Ben Johnson offense right now. What I do know is that Ben Johnson loves to run the football. What I do know, they want to make Caleb Williams' life a lot easier. So what I do know is that he's going to hit this bet. So what is Vegas trying to trick me with, chat? What is Vegas trying to trick me with? Please, someone tell me. How am I going to get finessed by Vegas? 800 and a half. Is that too good to be true, chat? I'm going to place the bet. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to place the bet. And then come December, I'm going to realize I'm an idiot, but Vegas was right, as they always are. But right now, I feel like I'm right. And if you go on DraftKings and do it, it's minus 105. It's minus 105 over there. We're locking that in. DeAndre Swift over 800 and a half rushing yards. I do not care. We're locking it in. What about Bears fans? What am I missing? Am I missing anything? He's going to be RB1. There's not really much competition for him. It's got to happen. Let's send chat. This is one that I've had on my board ever since he was a starting quarterback for the New York Jets. Justin Fields over 650 and a half rushing yards. Us Bears fans know Justin Fields can only do one thing and one thing well, and that's run the ball as a quarterback very well. If we look, chat, at Justin Fields' rushing yards, Justin Fields' rushing yards per season, career stats. You go to his career stats, chat. Rushing with the Bears in 2021, his first season, 420 games played, 12. Full season as a starter, missed 2 games, 1,100 rushing yards. 13 games played In 2023, 657. His line is 650 right now. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, he played 10 games, 62, 289 rushing yards at 10 games. So, if you look at these 2 years as a full-time starter, yes, he got hurt. He cleared that number 2 for 2. You're telling me on a team that's going to be predominantly run-focused, hard-nosed football, Breece Hall, Allen, Justin Fields, he can't hit 650 rushing yards, chat. This has got to be a lock. He might hit this by week 12. If he's healthy in the starter, he's going to hit this number by week 12. I guarantee it. 650 rushing yards for Justin Fields if he stays healthy, if he remains a starter, is easy money, chat. It is easy money, and I've had this on my board for a future bet the minute he signed with the Jets and was announced the starter. Aaron Glenn is going to want to run the football, keep it simple, hard-nosed football. That's what they're going to do, and they're going to do it with Justin Fields. 650.5 rushing yards. Lock it in for Justin Fields, one of my favorite future bets of the season. I didn't mean to put 2 units on it, but fuck it. We like it. I've been really inconsistent on my units. I've been just kind of free. And like, fuck it. A unit. I did 2 units on Fields. I did a unit on DeAndre Swift. I did 2 units on Ashton Genty. A unit on Caleb passing. Touchdown. No, Bo Nix. Okay. For rushing, chat, I think that's pretty much it. What's Kyler Murray? 475? What did he have last year? The only years that he hasn't cleared 475 is when he wasn't fully healthy. Last year he was healthy. I'm not trying to get too cute with all these rushing bets. Lamar Jackson total rushing 775. I got Lamar Jackson as leading passing touchdowns. I don't know if I got James Cook regular season total rushing touchdowns at 8.5. I picked him to be the leader. He had 16 last year. Like, what am I not getting? Rushing touchdowns, 16.5. He had 16.5 rushing touchdowns last year. How is he not going to get that this year? Josh Jacobs, over 9.5. Check. What am I missing? Is Vegas just asleep? Or am I getting finessed and tricked? Josh Jacobs, regular season rushing touchdowns, 9.5. Last year, he had 15 touchdowns. There's no one in that backfield that is competing to take away touches from Josh Jacobs, I don't think. What changed? Jordan Love, he's a little bit injury prone. Malik Willis will come in. They will feed Josh Jacobs that ball. They want to get their money's worth from Josh Jacobs. 10.5 plus 112. Over here, 9.5 rushing touchdowns for someone that scored 15 last year. Nothing has changed in the offense, I don't think. This has got to be, I got to be getting, there's something I don't know. I'm going to still bet it. I don't care, but there's got to be something I don't know. What am I missing? James Cook, he had 15 rushing touchdowns last year. 8.5. It's 8.5. He had 16 last year. Like, am I ahead of the game? Am I about to put you guys on? Or am I getting finesse and there's something I don't know? Am I missing something, chat? Am I missing something? We're locking that in. We're locking Josh Jacobs in 100% for rushing touchdowns of 9.5. He had 15 last year. Nothing has really changed, I don't think. Am I missing something? Is he healthy? He's healthy. Lock it in. One of my I got favorite bets all the fucking day. I don't even know. I'm about to make a top 5 list. I don't even know what to fucking make it. I don't know. We're locking it in. Josh Jacobs over 9.5 rushing touchdowns for the whole regular season. Easy money. Easy money. Like, chat. James Cook over 8.5 rushing touchdowns, chat. 8.5 rushing touchdowns. He had 16 last year. What am I missing? I'm going crazy because I think I'm going to get finessed. What am I missing? He had a breakout year, got his contract. The Bills are want to get their money's worth. The Bills are going to want to get their money's worth, right? What is the Bills depth chart? Bills depth chart. I know they got Ray Davis, right? Buffalo Bills depth chart. Ray Davis. Nothing has changed. Ray Davis was there last year. Yes, Josh Allen's going to take some touchdowns away. But with someone who just got paid, with someone who had 16 touchdowns last year and Josh Allen had 12, you're telling me I get to work with 8 touchdowns? I have data that says he had 8 touchdowns more last year. What am I missing? Is he going to regress that much where he's going to have 7 or 8 touchdowns less than he did last year? Same offense. Same situation. Like, they're actually more run focus heavy now. They're not letting Josh Allen sling it all over the place like he did 2 years ago. I got to lock it in. Locking it in. 8.5 rushing touchdowns for James Cook. I don't give a fuck. We're locking it in. Another favorite bet of mine. Another favorite bet of mine. Am I missing something? Chat, help me put it in the comments. All right, enough of rushing props. Receiving props. I don't really want to look at CeeDee Lamb. I love CeeDee. 1175. What was CeeDee's? He had 1194 in 15 games without Dak. Could Dak get hurt? He's got George Pickens. Maybe that's too close to home. Not loving that one. Do we love this Colston Loveland pick? Is he going to be the next Brock Bowers? Will Colston Loveland be the next Brock Bowers? Do we want to get down and dirty for a Colston Loveland futures bet, chat? A Colston Loveland's future bet. Do we want to get down and dirty for a Colston Loveland's future bet? Chat, am I getting down and dirty for a Colston Loveland futures bet? See, always shop, chat. Always shop your lines, chat. I'm trying to put you on. This might hit, chat. They're talking a lot of big things about Egbuka, chat. I'm not going to try to get too cute. I'll wait for individual game pop. Colston Loveland, regular season total receiving yards, 550.5. I might have to flirt with this one. Might be a little bit of a homer pick, but after that first game in the preseason, I think it's going to be one of Caleb Williams' favorite targets. I think he could have a Brock Bowers-esque year in a Ben Johnson-led offense. I know we got Cole Kmet. I know there's a lot of weapons on this offense, but 550 receiving yards divided by 17, 550 divided by 17, you're looking at 32 receiving yards per game. You're looking at 32 receiving yards per game on average. I love this bet. I want to bet this bet. I'm going to bet this bet at 550.5. We're going to lock it in. And you guys should probably tell this one too. I fucking love it. We're going to lock it in now. Let's fucking go. My running back is Bucky. Bro, what league are you in? Bro, still live? Colin says, yeah, we're wrapping up here shortly. I'm getting a lot of clips out of it, so there'll be a lot of this stuff posted throughout the week. Receiving props. Colston Loveland. Devontae Adams. I don't know what he's going to do. DJ Moore. Egbuka is enticing, chat. Egbuka is enticing. Tyler Warren is an interesting one. 825. Daniel Jones. I mean, if Anthony Richardson comes in, it cooks that bet completely. And I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk. I could do individual games of Tyler Warren, but I'm not going to get hot and horny for him right now in a future bet. Lad McConkey. I love Lad. Where was he at? 1159. I know they picked up another wide receiver in the draft. Mark Andrews, Malik Neighbors, Nico, Ricky Pearsall, Roma Dunze, 850. What was Roma Dunze last year, chat? There's DJ Moore. He could have a big year, but I don't know if I'm 850. We'll have to see how that goes, chat. I want him to have a 1K year, but we could do. We could wait on Rome, to be honest with you. We're 875. What did he have last year? 734 without Ben Johnson. He could be one of I like the Colson Loveland pick. I don't know. Maybe I actually like the Roma Dunze pick better. But with DJ Moore, Zacchaeus, we'll see. We might just do individual Roma Dunze bets, to be honest with you. Receiving props. I did like the CD Lamb. Is there touchdowns? Regular receiving? There was one that I saw someone bet that I really like. Brock Bowers. Oh, is it 5.5 now? Oh, they caught on. Chat. They caught on. Someone. I like Coach of the Year. I don't think we get Coach of the Year ones in. All right, chat. I think that's all of the future bets that I wanted to run through today. We did. You guys don't forget to do our survivor pool, chat. Let me quickly go here. We are running our 2025 NFL survivor pool. We did it last year, and I want to bring it back again. It was a ton of fun. This year, we're doing a $20 entry. Got some feedback that the degenerates in our community wanted a little bit more stakes in the game. So it's a $20 entry, NFL Survivor Pool. If you don't know what an NFL Survivor Pool is, essentially you pick one team for the week that you think is going to win. If they win, you advance. If they lose, you are eliminated. There is a rebuyback period. All those rules are in the description of the contest page. And you can't use that team again. You don't really need to know ball. My dad's girlfriend won it last year. It's just something fun to have a little bit of investment in if you don't do a lot of sports betting or fantasy football, but you want something to keep you engaged in through the NFL football season, whether you're a newer fan or someone that's a big NFL fan, just doesn't do a lot of betting. Our NFL Survivor Pool contest hosted on Splash Sports. It's a really cool platform. They have other contests like weekly pick'em leagues. It's like a DraftKings, but more for games and contests rather than Vegas line bets. So hit the link in the bio. Type an ! Survivor in the chat right now. Join the Survivor Pool. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll be doing a hard push for that. First 100 people to join are entered into a giveaway for an NFL jersey. I hope you guys can join. It'll be a lot of fun. I love y'all.